here, Suicide Drift. We're gonna be working on the Supra today. Nice little Supra. We're gonna be putting this bucket seat into this car. Just gotta take these 14mm bolts out. The reason I'm changing the seat, this motor stopped working, this one in front. You can kind of see it kind of got off a track. But also when I'm sitting in here, there's a lower bar that's right here. That's really hurting my lower back, so I'm gonna be putting this, hopefully it fits. It's a 34, I believe, waist seat, but I'm like a 32, 30, or like a 30. So we'll see if it fits in here. It looks kind of big, but we'll see. I got a planted, take this shit out, sorry. Let's see if the tag's on there. No, I'll show you when I take it off of here, but it's a planted seat bracket. It's a one piece instead of where sliders. This is a solid seat setup where there's no sliders, so it's fixed position. I'll have to mess around with it. If I need to get sliders, I'll get sliders, but I can't do this seat anymore. This shit hurts, but I'm gonna get cracking on it. All right, so I still have to vacuum a bit. It's pretty dirty in here, but this is the planted bracket that I was telling you guys about. It was, yeah, 140 from them, but I got it for like $40, like 50 bucks on eBay, shipped. Pretty good deal. Only a couple scratches on it, nothing too crazy. Bolts up perfectly, as you can see, all 4 bolts right here and right there. The factory seat belts, since I am keeping factory seats or seat belts, it bolts to here, but they have a bracket right here for it. So I'm gonna see if I can use this. This is gonna be a quick test fit. I'm probably gonna have to re-drill holes and put, you know, another bolt into here, just to make sure this is actually planted into here. But the only downside to this is that a lot of the sliders, it would just be a section right here and then bolt to both sides. So the bucket on here, you can see there's kind of like this frame right here where the slider would sit, but in this case it sits kind of right here on this, so I had to gap it up a little bit. Probably have to just cut up a metal piece. Right now I'm just going to be putting a bolt or a nut right here, just, you know, to fit it up, make sure that it is going to fit and going to work in here. But I also got these brackets. This is not part of planted. I got these from like eBay, I think, or Amazon, some shit like that. They're kind of like bride style little seat brackets, but yeah, just gonna re-drill a hole right here, or a little slot, and be able to properly mount these brackets on here, because you do not want these breaking and then you can't drive the car pretty much. But I'm gonna mock it up, show you guys how it looks inside. So that was actually a lot easier than I thought. Seat went right in. You can see it's bolted right here. This is side mount, obviously, so put a bolt on each side. There's already nuts inside the bucket frame itself. So the bolts that they gave me to use for the seat brackets were actually the same bolt thread as the seats, so it worked perfectly. You can see it's in here in place really good. Have those two and those two over there. I still got to put the seatbelt on, but this fucker's not going anywhere, and I can easily get into the car, have full motion of my all the way down to the clutch. One thing you do have to remember to do is that you don't want to have your leg fully extended, where it's completely straight when you're having the clutch all the way down, or any pedal in general. What happens that if, let's say, if I have my clutch down and I get into an accident and that wheel gets pushed this way, if my leg's straight and it doesn't, you know, it's not allowed to bend, what will happen is that your leg will become locked out and go straight into the seat, and I'll become like a human skewer. So this is perfect position. Don't have to worry about anything else. Now just time to get that seat, the little seat belt buckle in. Finally got the seat fully in. I ended up running the bottom of the seat belt, this other section, through this hole and then through this other hole, because before the seat belt would just come up and over and it wouldn't really be holding my waist. So by doing so, I can actually hold myself down. I have the seat belt buckle right over there. It's a little annoying to pop it up and out because this isn't as, it's a little bit long, doesn't flex enough. But all I have to do is just kind of pull this through, get some of the seatbelt on this side, unclip, comes up and out, slides out. So this is always gonna sit here just like this, which works with me. Not really tripping, it doesn't really hurt. I don't really feel it on my side when I'm sitting in here. And it's still easy to get in and out of the car, have enough space, and the door fully closes. So I have enough space to still, you know, do my wheel work and everything. I don't have like as much down section on the side, but it's not too bad. I still have my, I kind of gapped the seat. If you saw these brackets, how it's facing this way, And then these over here are facing the other way. I offsetted the seat a little bit to the left, so then I'm able to, you know, still work and have a decent amount of area on my right side while still, you know, clearing the door. Well, thankfully I do have enough space in the back so another passenger can sit there. Ignore the mess, I'm about to be cleaning it right now, doing a bunch of vacuuming. This car's nasty right now. But that's gonna be wrapping it up for this video. How's it going, guys? Back here again working on the Supra. Today we're gonna be taking out the steering wheel. We're gonna be putting in some new NRG parts. This right here is, I believe, the hub for where we're gonna be attaching the quick release onto. Yep, this is the hub. This is what's gonna be replacing the steering wheel where it's gonna be able to mount onto. These are vehicle specific, so it has the right splines for the steering shaft, and it has the ability to connect for the horn, which I am going to be keeping in here. The horn's kind of lame, but it's okay. It's better than nothing. So this is the hub, and then so here is a quick release. It's the Energy 2.5. It's the same one I run in the 240. I really like it. The design's pretty good. There's not a lot of play in it. Has this little safety button, but what that does is that you can't, so when you pull on this, you can't pull it open unless you press that down. I took it off on the 240 and I'm probably going to do it on this. It just makes it a little bit easier to remove. Otherwise, in the rest of the box, it has this ring. Don't really know what that does. I'll read the instructions, but it has a couple washers, this Allen key, and then also some bolts to attach the steering wheel onto. So first we have to take off the steering wheel of the Supra. The reason I am replacing this is my daily, and I did want an airbag in here, but this is the airbagless steering wheel. This vehicle's an 87, and I think they only did it on the 89 and up. So what I have to do is just remove this Phillips right here. I believe on the other side there's one more here on the bottom, and then I should be able to take this front cover off. This centerpiece comes off really easily. Once you undo those 3 screws, there's just one connector you have to disconnect, and it's this little tab right here. You just pull back onto it to disconnect that. So that comes off. This center bolt is a 19 millimeter. Now you just have to break that off, and I'm gonna show you a little trick to pull this off if you don't have a steering wheel puller. When you loosen up this bolt, you want to just barely keep it on here, just to make sure when you're trying to pry it off, it doesn't come flying at your face. And then what you want to do is that you want to pry like back and forth, and you're gonna just try to jimmy it off, like try to just wiggle it up and off. And this is just, yeah, again, gonna stop it from hitting you. So you just kind of pry, like you'll push with your right hand forward and the left hand back, kind of work it around and see if you can pull it off. So my GoPro died, but again, all you have to do is once you remove this bolt off, or once you have it like tightened down just a little bit, and you give it that good wiggle, it should pop off and make that sound. You want to make sure this is centered before you actually take the steering wheel fully off, just so your steering wheel is still centered with the center of your steering rack. But just pull that off, and now you're ready to put your hub on. The next step is to remove this coil spring. It should just be this one bolt, or these 2 Phillips bolts right here, and we're gonna have to cut. I'm gonna have to figure out which one of these wires are for the horn. If you guys have ever wondered how your turn signal returns to you after let's say turning left or right without you flicking the turn signal arm back, if you look at the back of the hub, there's these 3 notches, which corresponds with these 3 pins here. And when you have it lined up, imagine you're turning left. So I have a left turn signal on, I'm turning the wheel left, and that arm comes out right there where it popped out. So when your steering wheel is coming back to straight, it just pops that back down. And that's how your turn signal gets back off. When you're installing this, you have to remember to re-torque your steering wheel nut. This one's only torqued to 25 foot-pounds. Once I get that torqued on, then these 2 connectors right here, there's 2 connectors on this side, a male and a female obviously here. So you connect the male with the female, and then the male with the female on the other side. And then you're gonna be able to attach your steering wheel hub, these 6 bolts, onto these 6 bolt holes right here. For peace of mind, I like to put some thread locker on these bolts, because I've had experiences where these start to wiggle off and then it gets all loose, and this is one thing you do not want getting loose. But yeah, I still have to throw that on. I just bolted it up just for mock-up representations. I'm going to be putting the S14 steering wheel onto here, but this is how it's going to look. Obviously, it's going to be a black quick release instead of this gold one, but pretty good fitment. I have my steering wheel coming in today still. Should be delivered by the end of the day, so the next clip you'll see it'll actually have it on. But if you guys don't know how it works, you just pull it back on this and then bam, steering wheel comes off. So I didn't see any brackets to attach the horn wire to the back of the hub. So this section right here was this grounding strip kind of thing. You have to touch this to the back of there, so when you press your horn, that is where it's going to be grounded. I just looked at the wiring diagram. It's this third wire on the left. If I touch it to the ground, this is how I know it is the horn. The horn works, obviously. So what I have to do now is just cut these back, tape these off, and then I'm gonna have to tape this probably right here to the center section where this doesn't spin, and just make sure it's always contacting this back strip of the hub. That's where it's touching. And if I put my steering wheel on, every time I'm turning the wheel, you just want to make sure it's always touching to the back of there. Another way to test it also is that this is theoretically, if you had a horn, you would press it and it would connect these two. But if I just touch them together, if I could do this with one hand, if I touch them together, the horn comes on. They got the new steering wheel in. I really like the color on it. It's like this brushed metal with the red on it. It's kind of like a red metallic, but it's just a basic 6-hole with a leather steering wheel. It's the 3-inch deep dish wheel. I don't know if you guys can tell from that. Maybe from the side's a little easier. The only thing you have to worry about is that when you want to hit the turn signal, you can't really hit it while just holding the wheel with your left hand anymore. You actually have to let go and hit it, but it's nothing crazy. I've had that with a 240, and you just kind of hold it with your right hand and then hit the turn signal. You just let go real quick. Nothing crazy.